Dominic, a lot of times people say, well, when I go to Europe, like Tom was in Austria at the Formula One race, and he says, him and Leo, and he said, when we were there, they took their families and they loved Formula One. So, look, when we're talking to everybody, say, hey, we know you from the podcast. We need Trump to win. Why do you need Trump to win? Man, the world's a safer place when you're here. That's a secondhand story. Someone's telling you, and then they share it with other people. This is what people told me in Australia. This is what people told me in Europe. This is what they told me here. But you're direct contact. You're in it. You deal with EU. You deal with Poland. Right. You deal with your neighbors. You're one country in between you and Russia. So you're dealing directly with what's going on, right? And in a minute, I'll be asking you about Nord Stream, Putin, all these other things, NATO. I got a lot of questions for you. This may be a 2.5 hour conversation with you. But why is it what happens in America so important, what happens here, because that bleeds to the rest of the world?
I'll give you an example. Mr. Trump, as a president, is having a speech in UN before Ukraine was attacked. And he's directly speaking to German delegation. And he said, that's very famous speech from Mr. Trump. He said, do not cooperate with Russia. Do not take a gas from Russia, because you will become dependent. You will be dependent on Russian oil and gas. Germans were laughing. They were sitting there, like that, and laughing at Mr. Trump. You know what happened 6 months later? They called Poland and they asked us to share gas with them because they had a problem with energy, because Nord Stream was destroyed. Russia was on sanctions, and they couldn't cope without help from Poland. And what I mean by this example is, he is right about not only about energy, he is right about geopolitical situation. He knows history. His visit in Poland, when he was describing Polish history, was amazing. The accents of different parts of Polish history was amazing. So he knows what Russia can do. Very famous words from Polish president who was killed in Smolensk, Russia, plane crash. He said before he was killed, because I believe he was killed, he said in Georgia, when Georgia was attacked by Russia, he went there and he says, now Georgia, next Ukraine, then Baltic states, and then maybe Poland. Russia never changed throughout history, 16th, 17th century. You have to remember, Poland was not on the map for 123 years because of the partitions. And obviously, the authors of the partitions, mainly Germany and Russia, never changed. We had in 1410, we had a very famous war between Germany. That was 15th century, then 16th century, 17th century. Every century was aggression, partitions, and Poland did not exist for 123 years. Then, in 1918, we gained our independence back, and then in 1939, they attacked as well. Not many people knows that the war started on 1st of September 1939, and 16 days later, started by German attack on Poland, and then 16 days later, Russia attacked Poland from the east. Everyone, thinks that Second World War was just Germany. No, it wasn't. It started with Germany on the first. Pact Ribbentrop-Molotov was a deal between Russia and Germany, and they attacked Poland from west and from the east. When they had a problem, Hitler with Stalin, when Stalin decided, okay, I'm going to take over Germany now, he took over Poland in the same way as Germans. So we experienced so much pain. 123 years of non-existence, 6 million Poles killed during the war, 70 years of communism. That was so unbearable for the nation. And now we are, by the numbers, we are leaders, because we know what it means to lose your freedom, to lose sovereignty, to be in a jail as a nation for hundreds of years. So we cherish our freedom. We fight for it. We do understand what it means not to be free. So when someone is asking me, there was a funny situation because one of my colleagues, one of the member of the parliament asked me, what do you do? What's your plan for the vacation? I said, I'm going to work. I'm going to campaigning in US for Trump. And he said, but they do not elect you. Why would you go there? The America do not vote for you. They are not. Why would you do that? And I saw him. I saw the man who do not understand, who treats his position, his post as a work, and that's it. He's not from my party, by the way. So the main difference between us, Republicans, conservatives, in Europe, and Democrats, leftists, they don't care. They really don't care. They are hedonists. They want them to be happy today. They don't think about next generations. They don't think what's going to happen in 20, 30 or 50 years. I know my history, as John Paul II said, if you do not know your history, you will not build your future. So I do know what it means from my family, from the history of my country. I love my country. I love peace. I love Christian way of thinking and living. I want to fight. I don't want to fight for it. I do want to fight for it because I do believe that this is important. I think that that we were created for something more than eat, sleep, and relax, let's say. We were created for bigger things. I want to live something after my life. I want to be proud when I'm, please God, 70 or 80, that I've done what I was called by God to do. I do believe that everyone has a talent, and this talent needs to be used in a proper way. My way of thinking was, because I'm a lawyer by the education.
Canon law, not just regular kind of law.
No, regular law. I do my PhD on international law.
Did you also study Canon law? Or?
No, that was the university, the branch of the university when I studied it. But yeah. I do my PhD on international law at the moment. I do my PhD on genocide, so I'll tell you more about it later, because this is very
important. PhD on genocide.
Yes, but I decided to become a lawyer because in my naive imagination, I thought that I will be able to become a prosecutor and put all the communists to jail. And then I found out that the post-communist system in Poland is created by the communists also in a judiciary system. So then I decided, okay, so if I cannot be a prosecutor because they are, politically dependent on post-communists, that was, early 2000s. I said, okay, so I have to be above them in some way. So I'll become a politician. I'm going to create reality rather than fight it. So I decided that I'm going to be a politician, but I served 2 terms in Polish parliament, and then I was elected to European Parliament.
Tell me you don't love this guy. Tell me you don't love his patriotism on how much he loves his country.